beep. Welcome to the court of the Edijester. How the bloody hell are you all, eh? Couple of good videos yesterday, and the Posey Parker one went down very well, didn't it? So I'm really pleased about that, he says. All right, okay? So thank you very much to everyone who's supporting me in every way you can. Become a warrior teacher, buy me a coffee, the usual stuff. This one is gold. Hold your hats. Keep your hats on. Stay tuned as we go into the world of conversion therapy. Cue ridiculous statement below from Planned Parenthood, because I've said the words conversion therapy. Right, okay. Conversion therapy ban reported here by the Telegraph, the Torygraph, for trans people could backfire and put girls at risk. UN expert warns. You can't pass a conversion therapy bill for something that's not real. It's that simple. They're either patients or they're not. What are they? Daniel Martin, the deputy political editor in the Telegraph's LGBTQ+ section, I wish they'd stop using that. Just put TQ+. You don't need the LGB. We want nothing to do with it, thank you. Has said here that a UN expert called Reem Alsalem, there she is. Tremendous. Specs, smile, serious looking. This is the kind of woman we can get behind. Trans-inclusive bans on conversion therapy could backfire. This is what she said. She's also the rapporteur, great word, on violence against women and girls. Warned governments considering such a ban that there was a danger it could make it easier to fast-track lesbian and autistic girls on the path of irreversible medical gender transition. Well, thank goodness that's from the UN Special Rapporteur, and I'm very pleased, as I'm sure you'll be, to hear her comments. She fears that a ban on conversion therapy will stop doctors being able to speak to children about whether their depression comes from an issue other than being born in the wrong body. Nobody's born in the wrong body. She obviously knows that. The Telegraph still doesn't for some reason. There is no way on God's earth that conversion therapy is a thing when it comes to trans people, right? There's no such thing as trans. We keep saying this, right? You might be a transvestite, bit of a gusset fumbler, right? Or you might be, a porn-addled bloke. You might be a transsexual, though I doubt it, right? None of it's real. It was all made up years ago by a bunch of gusset fumblers, wasn't it? All sticky men. Hey, these men. So they all made it up, didn't they? So you've got the men now who are porn-addled running towards it, and you've got the women who are running away from something, especially the young girls, running away from something. So they're all, it doesn't exist. Stop talking about it in the same breath. She said that many young women who express a desire to transition may actually be lesbian or could be on the autism spectrum and should not be put on a high-speed train to gender transition. Reference there to the trans train, which was not only the name of a Swedish documentary, but also a great song by Mr. Menno, as you'll remember. A high-speed train to gender transition. Now, we know from Cass and from all the history that comes with this absolute medical scandal that there is nothing that stands in the way once you start them. Once you socially transition, it's game over. That's why schools must be stopped from socially transition. That's why everybody must not accept social transitioning and must fight back against it. Otherwise, these people will go on to irrevocably damage themselves because they're not well. Said it before and I'll say it again. If you think you're something you're not well. End of story. Speaking to the Torygraph, she urged, and that's Reem. Reem urged governments contemplating plans to make it easier to change gender to learn from Scotland's failed introduction of self-ID laws. Even though Scotland, as I reported yesterday, are still going full steam ahead, pretending they're doing CAS. They're not doing CAS. They don't care less. They aren't doing CAS. They're doing exactly what they want to do, the normal rubbish. They consulted with a bunch of nutters, and now they've got a nutter outcome in their ridiculous guidance. Right, I've forgotten her name. Let's go back. Her name is Reem, apologies, Reem. Reem then said that clarifying the meaning of sex in equality law to mean biological sex would improve the protection of women and girls against discrimination based on sex. This is something that Labour will absolutely refuse to do. Absolutely. And in the meantime, while they refuse to do it, we're not going in the right direction. Not going in the right direction. So that's what Labour, they're not going to do it. No, it doesn't need updating. It's fine as it is. If it's fine as it is, why are we in this trouble? It's directly related to the protected characteristic of gender nonsense and also the fact that we even recognise it as something that's a thing. Get it gone. I know it's difficult. We've got to find the pathway. If the pathway means leaving everything else, leave it. Let's get it done, do our own. We don't need other people like that in this nonsense. The comments came ahead of Labour conference where Miss Alsalem will speak at a fringe event on Sunday. Annelise Dodds, that bloody Aardman animated plasticine quit, right, has vowed to make it easier to change gender. Is she still at it? Aniseed Flob, whatever her name is. Right, okay. Just go away. And she's gonna bring in a trans-inclusive ban on conversion therapy, despite fears it could criminalise parents, teachers and doctors who question whether a child really does want to transition. No child wants to transition. No child wants to transition. A child might be deluded into believing they want to transition. A child may be a member of a school's LGBTQ after school club. They may be a member of an affinity group in a local youth club, or they may be encouraged by their local church to become this new angelic creature that is trans. But I'm sorry, it doesn't exist. Any child that thinks they are that's a huge safeguarding red flag. Cass knew that. That's why she wants holistic. Get the educators in, right. The first and foremost aspect for trans is safeguarding, followed by education. It should be nothing to do with the medical establishment if a child has gone gaga. We need to help the child get back on track. That's what we need to do. And that sometimes means tough love. And then we'll have to deal with the trans thousand parents. It's just a mess, isn't it? She also, Reem also said, police forces should collect data on the biological sex of victim and perpetrators of sexual assault, as skewing data would result in the misguided assessment and understanding of the phenomenon of violence against women, which is predominantly male violence against females. Ms Alsalem urged governments to take heed of the Cass review into gender medicine, which warned against a conversion therapy ban, saying that doctors need to be able to discuss with a child whether their depression comes from other issues than being born in the wrong body. Born in the wrong body. If you're born in the wrong body, where's the other one? I'm sure I've said that 100 times, but I want to know. Where's the other? Is there a garage somewhere with them in? You open the door, it's just all these bodies that haven't had their gender soul added yet. Perhaps we could bring in Stonewall with like a gender soul injection and we could wake them up one by one. Who am I? Why am I here? Where's the real me? Over there, fumbling a gusset with tits grown by tablets. Still got his bits. That's you. You're in the wrong body. Rubbish. She said the review talked about an increasing number of children and young people being referred to NHS support about their gender identity, including a high number of teenage girls who have been impacted by anxiety and depression in recent years. Gender identity doesn't exist. Gender identity is personality. If you're lucky, you can make a character out of that personality. Gender expression is fashion. That's it. None of it's real, okay? But I'm incredibly glad, and I hope that you are too, to see that Reem Alsalem has opened her mouth all the way from the United Nations and said, no, of this we shall have none. Now all we've got to do is hope that the Labour Party with what's her name? Angelica Dodds. Annelise. Aniseed Flops. Listens, which is very unlikely. Okay, go well. I'll see you later. I'm having real fun this week. Ta-da, everybody. Bye-bye.